should be live right now, but before we kind of get this interview underway, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
You said it again.
Uh, I said, like, before we get the interview underway, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Probably Who Fam. So one of the pages I post a lot of my highlights. Is, is what it's called.
For sure, sounds good. I'll definitely have to check them out. But I guess the question I want to start off on, just because like most people, like I see the people I follow's Instagram stories, and I see you were at the gym at like 2 in the morning. So what were you doing there?
Uh, so I had recently got off injury. I had a calf strain, right? So I had been like, this is after I played in the UIBL, and I haven't played a game since. So I've been on injury. So I had to get back to my groove and just started working out. So I was like, my guy hit me up. He was like, "Yo, we got the church tonight. You trying to work out?" I'm like, "All right, bet." By then it was like 10, right? And I had already ate, and I just went. I was like, "All right, I'm gonna just go get shots up." And got shots up. It was we left at like 2 a.m.
Yeah. So would you prefer to maybe work out like at a more normal time during the day, or I mean, did you almost kind of like working that late at night?
I mean, honestly, I kept thinking it was like 12. Really, I mean, I'd rather work out during like the afternoon, really, more than the morning. I don't really like morning workouts, but you gotta do them
Yeah. But anyway, do you consider that workout early morning workout, or do you consider it a late night workout?
late night workout.
All right, I was curious what your opinion on that was, but you mentioned EYBL. So did you play EYBL this summer, and if so, like what age group and for what team?
I played for Scholars. I was playing 15U. I was playing up this summer.
Yeah. So I mean, playing up EYBL at such a young age, I guess what I mean, even though you're kind of a big player for your classmate, you're 6'10", so obviously you're not really tiny, but still playing up. I mean, what was that like for you playing a bigger and better competition on the highest level of AAU basketball?
I mean, really, it was just like I mean, when I was young, I always played older people, so it wasn't anything new until you started seeing like people that were 7'3", people that were just as tall as me, but they weren't really nearly as skilled. So it was an eye opener. So when I come back to my grade, everything's a lot easier.
Yeah. So the things really feel since you played that, I guess, that grade up level of competition. So then, like what you said, when you did play against players your age again, it did feel much easier because of that experience.
Yeah, it did. I played the first time I played up with the Scholars was actually here in Pittsburgh. I played in the Jam Fest. I played against Team Durant. It's probably one of my best games I've ever played with them. And ever since then, it was just playing my grade was a little easier since.
And Team Durant, well, I guess that'd be 15. I was thinking of like the 17 team. Obviously, it's a little bit tougher, but the whole, I guess, Team Durant organization, that is what I mean. And PSA, it's like Team Durant, PSA. I think Knight Riders, like the Mac Irvin Fire, Drive Nation, like Oakland Soldiers. Those are kind of like the more well known UIBL programs. I feel like so. Just again, being at your age and then having to play up against a team like Team Durant. What was that experience like for you? Just that game specifically.
I mean, really, that when I played Team Durant, it was more or less they were dudes just as big, strong, they're fast, athletic, and I wasn't really nearly as athletic. So when I played them, it was like you couldn't make a mistake the whole game. Like one mistake, it was it. So you'd have to beat them with like skill. You'd have to use footwork to catch them off balance, all that stuff. Yeah, when I played with the Scholars.
And you kind of answered the question that I'm going to ask you right now, but I don't know. I think I might maybe get a different response. But like, what was maybe something you learned about your competition, like the older players that are a year older than you? That's something that I guess maybe inspired you that you want to add to your game or work on.
Can you say that again one more time?
Yeah. So I mean, you kind of mentioned it in your last response, but like, what was something that you learned from playing up from some of those players that you want to try to add to your game, or maybe like a philosophy or work ethic that you learned while you're playing up and everything?
I mean, I learn how to play way harder, uh, be more physical, and rebound a little better playing up actually. And they give you a little more leeway to foul because I can't foul my age group or else I'll get called for it every time.
Yeah, and now transitioning away from EYBL, I feel like a big thing in middle school basketball, almost I think bigger than high school basketball, is all the camps and showcases. You obviously gone to plenty of those, so as how have those experiences kind of helped you in terms of exposure and getting you offers and just getting you better as a player?
I mean, playing in showcases have helped me gain more gain more national exposure and get more looks from different types of schools. Uh, ESPN analysts have watched my films, so it was nice going to those camps because I got to showcase how I really played and I could dribble and all that.
Yeah, do you have it all a favorite camp that you've gone to?
My favorite camp has to be probably the D Rich camp just went to, as of right now.
Yeah, what made that camp your favorite one?
I mean, there was actually some competition in that camp. I mean, I got to dribble, shoot the J, run the floor. I played with Mac. I don't know how to say his name. Mac on Savardia or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I
young
know.
Pistol Pete dude. Yeah, I
Mhm.
played with him. Yeah, he's threw some nice lobs up there at D Rich. It was a pretty good time with him down there.
Yeah, so I guess you could say what made it more fun is that you kind of like dunking on good players instead of dunking on not so good players at the other camps.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say I like dunked on them. Like they they kind of just got out the way, really.
Yeah, does that at all? I mean, it is kind of smart, and like you'll see players putting their captions like, I don't know why he jumped, I don't know why he didn't get out of the way, but I mean, do you ever where sometimes a player can maybe challenge you a little bit so you get that more satisfying poster?
I mean, there's one on my story or one on my page. I was in Alabama playing in the Battle Classic, or not the Battle Classic. It was a tournament. I caught this one kid when I was playing with the Carolina Heights. I had posted that. That was probably the best one I had because that kid was trying to dunk on me from a camp previous. So I had to let him know.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure that's definitely something very satisfying. But I guess so. You said that he dunked on you, I guess, at a previous camp. Is that what you said?
No, he tried to a
Uh,
lot of times.
yeah. So I guess I'm assuming that shows something about your character. I'm not that like you're a mean person or anything, but that you're competitive. You want to show people who's boss. Is that maybe a true statement about you?
Yeah, I just really I'm honestly really a low key player. I just don't like being like really disrespected, crazy. That's all, really.
Hmm.
So I don't start the trash talking and all that. That's not really how I play.
Yeah, and I mean, we weren't even talking about trash talk. We were more just saying like, hey, someone's gonna try to dunk on me. I mean, if you're gonna bring that intensity, I guess I gotta try to top it.
Yeah, yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. Uh, and something else too. I mean, you're obviously a very special prospect, just being in the class of 2025. So we'll maybe talk about certain things that make you special for what you do at such a young age. One, I mean, you're 6'10". It's obviously pretty freaking tall. And I mean, you haven't even played a game of high school basketball yet, I guess you could say. So just how were you able to grow and get to the height you are today?
Well, both of my parents are 6'1", and I come from probably the tallest country in all of the world. So I mean, during quarantine this year, I grown 5 inches since, and just a couple this year.
And how have you handled like those, I guess, those major growth spurts? Like, do those, because I mean, I hear people say how like it hurts sometimes, like all that stuff. Like, how have you handled growing like that?
I had this like back to how I said like I had my little calf strain.
Mhm.
It comes with like what do you call your limbs get a little longer, so you're forced to stretch more and check out the chiropractor and all that for my back and everything. And usually got the ice up really because I'm more like since I'm longer, I'm more like more a little more injury prone as of right now until I strengthen my body.
Yeah. Are you trying to work on now getting your body a little bigger right now, or do you think there's maybe some more inches you got left in you?
Yeah, I have some more inches left. I was supposed to hit like over 7 foot, maybe 7'2" or 7'3".
Yeah, that's definitely going to be probably going to be crazy for sure. But a thing that comes with being tall, besides being able to dominate on the basketball court, clothing. I'm sure I don't know what size you wear, but is that something you need to adjust to too, buying different sizes and stuff?
Yeah, I mean it's more. I don't. My torso isn't really that big. It's more my legs. So I wear like a large, tall, really. And I just probably just wear like XL, double XL, like clothes probably for my arms.
Yeah. What about shoes? What size shoes are you?
I wear 15.
Yeah, I'm sure you get these questions a lot. What's it like being that, I guess, that stereotypical kind of tall guy? Because I've interviewed I mean, it kind of comes with being in the basketball world. As I've talked to many tall people, and they always get those questions like they're in the grocery store, like, "Oh, you play basketball, whatever." Does that happen to you all the time?
Yeah, I was actually I was at the park one day. This is after I played in the after I played at Neo this camp, and these two kids came up to me and they're like, aren't you that overtime kid?" You're like, "What?" You're like 6'9". And ever since then, it's never stopped. And I mean, it can get frustrating sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it's
Yeah.
like you're answering questions left and right.
hmm So I guess I'm curious for you because some players have told me like some of them I wouldn't say they own it is kind of like all right, I'm tall, it is what it is, but a lot of them try to come up with their own unique responses as people ask them like, oh, you play basketball, so is that something you're thinking of, and if so, what kind of responses do you think we're gonna be hearing from you soon?
Uh, I mean, can you say that one more time?
Yeah, here I can give like an example. Like some players tell me like someone will ask them like, "Oh, you're so tall. Do you play basketball?" And they'll be like, "Oh no, like I golf or no, like I don't play any sport. I dance." Like we got any of those you said before?
I mean, I mean, I usually just tell like little kids I'm not really. I'll tell kids I'm like 5'10", or I'll tell them like this. My one coach, this one coach from my high school that asked me, what sport you play?" And I told him I played football.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't. What do you think you'd be like as a football player?
Like probably wide out, really.
Yeah, you think you'd be nasty at football or not?
Nah, 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 nah. I'd have to bulk up like all my legs to do all that.
Yeah, it would definitely be cool to watch though for sure. But now going back into that whole theme I kind of talked about, like stuff that's kind of unique about you being your age. I mean, you got a bunch of Division One offers, and not a lot of freshmen have that many offers. So just what's been the recruiting process like for you? Again, you haven't played high school basketball yet, and you're already getting a bunch of offers.
I mean, the process for recruiting, it's really like my after I'll play in like those camps, and then like my coaches will film my practices and like my movements and everything, and they'll send them out to coaches that he had connections with from previous prep schools, and you'll use those connections to get me like a lot of offers and stuff because they'll come and watch me like what Calipari did.
Mhm.
He had come to watch.
And that is the whole reason why I kind of discovered what about you is like I'm scrolling through Twitter and I see like, oh, Coach Cal going in, check out this kid playing practice, and I was even surprised you followed me back and gave me a chance to do this interview because that is something very 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 big time. Having Coach Cal from Kentucky, a blue blood. I feel like surprisingly a lot of players' dream schools is to go to Kentucky. So what was that like for you? Again, as a freshman, you got Coach Cal, one of the legends in the game, watching you practice.
I mean, so let me tell the story that actually it was the night before. my coach, and my players, we all went to my coach's house. We had played a bad game before because I was coming off injury. I was a little shaky, so I'm at my coach's house, right? I'm watching film. He gets a call, right? He gets a call from coach from the assistant coach from Kentucky. He's like, "Yeah, Cal's coming tomorrow. Can you move it up to 3 instead of 5 p.m.?" Because I usually have practice after school.
Mhm.
And I was like, and there, like he saw the film. He was like, "Y'all hear that?" He was like, "Coach Cal's coming to the school tomorrow." And I was like, "What? No way." I go to school. School ends. I hit the locker room. My teammate comes running into the locker room. He's like, "Yo, he's really here." I'm like, "What? Cal's here?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw him outside." I put on my shoes. I'm like, "Yo, we need to stretch." We get it going. He walks in, right? We saw the drill. I have never seen so many people work so hard ever. Like this is the craziest high school workout. I get done. I shake his hand. I shake the coach's hand. Right. He's not allowed to talk to me yet. So all that gets done. My coach comes out to the locker room. He's like, "Cal said he loved you a lot, and he said you need to work on passing better and working from the foul line within." He said everything else is good. He said you'll be a good caliber player in 2 years. You'll be ready to go to college. So that's like by my junior year.
Yeah, that definitely sounds super surreal, and it seems like even for you, you definitely well, I guess I don't know whether were you excited or were you nervous or anxious or a little bit of both. Like what emotions were you feeling when you found out he was coming and before the practice?
I was in disbelief. I was like, "There's no way he's here." Like that day was just wild because he came back to visit his family and he stopped by the school, and it was just like, "Wow, he's really here." After like he told my coaches, he was like, he told my coaches what he told AD. He was like, "You need to work on your lower body." He just gave the coaches certain tips and plays to use me well. And that very next day, another caller, Pittsburgh, came into the gym, and I got to meet them as well.
Yeah, so I guess for you, like, what's it been like now? You're going to practice, and of course, I'm sure you're putting in 100% effort every single time in practice, whether it's coaches there or not. But now it's almost like you have an audience watching you practice. Not like you have your coaches watching you. It's like you have college coaches that are there watching you practice. So does practice now almost feel like low key like a game now that you got people like kind of scouting you during practice?
I mean, it's just like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like they're like they're it's like it feels like they're like parents in the stands watching, but they're actually like college coaches. I'm like, what?
Mhm.
We just scrimmage, really. We just scrimmage, and the first like when I had Calipari in the gym, it was I thought I had to have like 20 points and all this to go to his college and all that, but it wasn't even that close. He didn't need 20 or none of that. He said like if you're 6'10", you could pass the ball, rebound, and play defense. You go to any school in the country. Ever since then, I had a different mindset in going into like practicing with colleges because I mean, as soon as Calipari, as soon as he came and left, every other college is like, it was like, I mean, Calipari told me this and this, so it was like, if Pippers come in their gym, it's not really a surprise because I mean, Calipari's are the year, so I mean, it's not, I'm really not nervous anymore because the biggest college coach came to the gym, so I mean, it's not really. I mean, you don't really get many butterflies anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And you touched on this. Like I just want to know like how this works since again the coaches they can't like contact you directly or talk to you or whatever. So I mean like are they able to say hello or like is that not allowed? Like how does that work then? Like if they're in the same room as you, but I guess you know they can't like directly recruit you.
No, they can't. They can't talk to me. I mean, they can't talk to me at all. They they can only talk to. They can talk to me in a group of people like my teammates. They can talk to me like that. Like I'll shake their hand and say hello and all that. But that's as far as it really goes.
Yeah. So was that at all maybe like a little bit frustrating, even though like you know it's the rule, like you're not trying to get in any trouble, but it's like you got Coach Cal in there. I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of things you want to say or ask him, or maybe if you're like that, you're probably not even get a picture with him, maybe a quick pic, but like just were you at all like kind of having to hold back a lot or not really?
I mean, I just wanted to ask him questions about like certain NBA players he coached. That's really it.
Hmm. So were you at all like a little bit annoyed that like you couldn't really get that opportunity, or no? Because I maybe got a feeling like it's gonna come again in a couple of years. You'll be able to actually talk to him.
He's actually coming. He's coming again pretty soon. He'll be back soon, probably for one of my games this year, hopefully. I mean, it wasn't really as frustrating. It was just like I was too much in awe that he actually came. So I mean, it was really frustrating that I couldn't talk to him. So I mean, I was gonna hear what he had to say from my coaches. So it wasn't really tripping about it.
Yeah, for sure. And something now, I mean, in regards to college coaches, I'm gonna assume you do this just since like obviously Coach Cal wasn't the first and last coach that came. You said Pittsburgh came as well, and you said Coach Cal is probably gonna come back too. So I'm sure you do this, but how important would you maybe say for other players like something they do look for in practice is being a good leader, being positive, always putting in effort. So I'm sure it's something you do. Just how important is that? Almost like as important as the things that Coach Cal mentioned in terms of passing, like I guess how much more important is being a good leader and all that stuff for college coaches?
I mean, uh, I would assume being a good leader on the team makes like the coaching a little easier. Like I mean, college they look for like they look for things that fit their system. Really, I mean, one of my friends had gotten offered for hedging on the screen really well and setting the screen very well. Nothing else. You didn't see no scoring, no rebounding. They don't even know if he plays hard. He already got an offer because he set the screen well. So I'd say colleges probably look for what fits their system and stuff they can fix later. Like Scotty Barnes, he averaged 10. He averaged 10 points at Mount Vernon. He averaged like 11, maybe not even 11 at Florida State. He played defense. He
Mm-hmm.
rebounded and he could pass, and he's a fourth round pick, and they're gonna fix that scoring and all that and later on in college or in NBA.
Yeah, man, I do. I love how I talk about Scotty Barnes because only because I interviewed him before. Actually, like he's one of my favorite NBA players because I met him, which is super cool. Like, I'm actually waiting to buy his jersey. I'm waiting to see if the city edition is gonna be for Toronto, and then I'm gonna pick what jersey I'm gonna buy of him. I haven't gotten a jersey since like I was like in since I was like in third grade. So definitely looking forward to that. But another thing though about Scotty Barnes, I mean, you said he wasn't really putting up numbers. He's doing the little things. Like that shows like they want players with good character. Like Scotty obviously was a team guy. Like he wanted to play defense. He wanted to just get a bunch of rebounds and didn't care about scoring. So that's almost kind of where the leadership comes into play. Like Scotty Barnes always brought energy, and that's kind of why like I think it's super important to do the little things and be a leader and all that stuff. Because that's also a big reason why Scotty Barnes at the NBA too. It's just because of his character.
Yeah, yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah. Is Scotty Barnes a player that like I guess you kind of look up to and want to play like, or if not, what players are you trying to play like one day?
I mean, I don't really look up to Scotty Barnes. I like his game style though, but
Yeah, like players that you want to, I guess, like they don't need to be your role model, but like a player you like their game and you're trying to model stuff from it.
I mean, if I really model my game after anybody, I would say it's probably a couple players, probably KD, little bit of Kobe and some Giannis.
Yeah, I mean that like player combination is definitely something scary. Is that like if you think if I saw you play, would I kind of see a little bit of all those players in you?
I mean, I mean, I've just gotten more. I just like gotten more athletic this year. Like started doing more of the crazier dunks. I mean, my handle a little quick, I'd say, but I've always had the shot since I was young. So you'll probably see that a lot. Like more KD or some Chris Middleton in there.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess now just maybe a few more questions before we wrap up the interview. One thing, I mean, it's kind of common sense. Like, what's been going on with you recently? You're probably going to be a top player in the class. So, what's like knowing those rankings come out, seeing your name on the list? Is that something you're excited for? Is something you don't care for? What's your opinion on that? Because I'll be very shocked if you're not ranked when those come out.
I mean, I'm just waiting until it comes out to see what number one is, because I mean, that's the biggest target really right now. So as soon as that comes out, I already know I'm going for. So it's just, I mean, I wouldn't say I'd say I'm excited because like once I'm there, I'm there. Like it's my responsibility to keep myself on that ranking because there's constantly nagging and pulling. So we're gonna see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then just now, like two more kind of more good overall questions to wrap up the interview. One, you got a whole high school career ahead of you. What are some of your goals and expectations for your high school career?
I wanna lead my team to a state championship and do my part. But like I want to facilitate a lot this year. Do like what Calipari has said. He said I need to pass the ball a little better within getting more assists. He said I could pass the ball very well. He just said I needs to like pass the ball a little better because there's gonna be a lot of double teams coming. So I can hit my players like that, just dish it out, so they can't double me anymore. So that's really what I'm looking for, and just being a leader this year. And when times get tough, my coaches can trust me and all that.
Yeah, definitely. And I do love the whole double team comment you made because that's what happens with all the good players, even the ones that aren't like Division One good, but that are good in their little hometown. Like they're always getting double teams. So that's definitely important. And finally, his final question in the interview. I think it's always a great one to wrap it up with. We talk about your high school goals, but now what are your overall career goals? In regards to basketball, off the court, all of that.
I mean, off the court, I mean, I'm a Christian, so I'm trying to spread the gospel a lot more off the court, because it's a corrupted world. So I just gotta keep pushing and help those along. Those really my expectations off the court. Really on the court, for in future terms, I rather like try to be one of the best to ever do it. Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, those are definitely two very solid goals. I mean, you can't really get much better than that. But anyways, man, really appreciate you taking your time. Definitely going to be. I mean, at least for your high school career. I mean, no one knows the future has in store, but you definitely got a lot of success coming your way. So grateful that you took your time to talk to me. But yeah, so make sure you guys give us both a follow on Instagram. His name, it's at Alir_Maluk 12. And actually, I just remember we got actually a tradition on this interview where if there's a number in your bio, we got to ask what the number means, or not your bio, in your Instagram username. So what does the number 12 mean?
Number 12. Number 12. So this goes back to my when I first started playing basketball. The school I went to in this was a small school. It's where I started playing basketball. That's called Baldwin Whitehall. It's a small school out in Pittsburgh. So I started playing basketball there, and I wore number 12 there, and I had to shift schools, and I didn't really want to leave, so I always wore the school. I always wore that number as memory of the school I went to, because that's where I first started playing basketball. So yeah, that's what the number 12 means.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that was actually a pretty cool response. You usually guys get like, oh, it's my favorite number, or oh, this player wore it, or I was just assigned this number and stuck with it. But that was actually a really cool story. But now we can end the interview. So again, make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram at Lear_Maluk12. I'm at Hoops FL. And anyways, for 6'10" power forward at Amani Christian Academy, Alir Maluk, I'm Isaac Fleischer. This has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.